should Donald Trump Jr. have taken that meeting?
Well, Senator, I'm hearing for the first time your description of it, so I'm not really in a position to speak to it. I gather that Special Counsel
Well, let me ask you
would...
this. If I got a call from somebody saying the Russian government wants to help Lindsey Graham get reelected, they've got dirt on Lindsey Graham's opponent, should I take that meeting?
Well, Senator, I would think you'd want to consult with some good legal advisors before you did that.
So the answer is, should I call the FBI?
I think it would be wise to let the FBI know.
You're going to be the director of the FBI, pal. So here's what I want you to tell every politician. If you get a call from somebody suggesting that a foreign government wants to help you by disparaging your opponent, tell us all to call the FBI.
That was Republican Lindsey Graham. Republican Paul Ryan, on the other hand, was reduced to jello today when Casey Hunt asked him what he would do if the Russians wanted to help his reelection campaign.
I'm not going to go into hypotheticals only because I think it's important that we get to the bottom of all of this. As you all know, I supported Bob Mueller being appointed special counsel, and I think we need to let him and his team and our investigators here do their jobs and follow these leads wherever they may lay and follow wherever they may go and follow the facts.
I'm not going to go into hypotheticals. Paul Ryan could not say that what he would do if the Russians or any other foreign government wanted to help his reelection campaign. He could not say that he would not commit that crime. That is how lost the Speaker of the House has become as he clings to the wreckage of the Trump administration in the hope that he will find a way to get the president's signature on tax cuts. When we come back, David Frum and Ned Price discuss the Republican reaction to Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, and Paul Manafort's meeting in which they were hoping to collude with the Russian government in attacking Hillary Clinton.
If I am given the honor of leading this agency, I will never allow the FBI's work to be driven by anything other than the facts, the law, and the impartial pursuit of justice, period. Full stop. My loyalty is to the Constitution and to the rule of law.
Members of Congress take an oath saying the same thing, but you'd never know that if you listened to Paul Ryan today. Joining us now, Ned Price, a former senior director and spokesperson for the National Security Council and former CIA analyst. He's also an MSNBC national security analyst. And back with us, David Frum. Ned Price, Paul Ryan could not bring himself to say that he would not commit a crime with the Russians if the Russians offered him help in his reelection campaign today. Lindsey Graham tried to teach his colleagues this lesson today. A lot of us didn't think they need to be taught that lesson, but apparently they do.
Well, I hate to say it, Lawrence, but Paul Ryan is emblematic of the Republican Party when it comes to this, and Senator Lindsey Graham is not. Republicans have been tripping over themselves trying to find a way to excuse the inexcusable behavior of Donald Trump Jr. Look, my favorite response today came from Dana Rohrabacher, who might as well be the representative from Leningrad, who said that, look, we should listen to everybody, no matter who they are. And apparently that everybody includes Russian government operatives. But the important point here, I think, is that this is not new. And in fact, this tendency on the part of Republican leaders, and I'm using that term leaders loosely, Republican leaders to protect President Trump against these unexplained Russia ties, that predates the election. In late summer of last year, the Obama administration approached Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, gave him the full brief on Russian meddling in the hopes that he would go along with a bipartisan show of force to show the Russians we would not take this and to encourage states to work with the federal government to protect their own systems. He wouldn't sign on to it. It was an abdication of leadership. He was putting party above country, and that is consistently what we've seen from Republicans across this country.
David Frum, a politician saying I won't answer a hypothetical. Every single campaign question to a candidate is a hypothetical. If you are elected, will you do X? They're all hypotheticals.
Well, I mentioned in an earlier segment how completely disoriented Republicans are this week. I mean, that it is a bizarre thing if you're following social media or watching Fox News to watch some of the very cynical reactions. But understand, I mean, the rug's just been pulled out of everybody. That Donald Trump has done to the entire Republican Party what he has so often done to his designated White House spokesman. He has made liars out of all of them. They have for months been repeating the no evidence of collusion, no evidence of collusion. It's a hoax. It's a made-up story. And today, Donald Trump is saying it's fine. Actually, it's all true, and it was a good thing, and anybody would do it. And now, how does a Paul Ryan react? What is the answer he can give? He doesn't know where this story goes. This story can only get bigger. He must sense this. He's in a race against time to pass the measures he wants to pass before the bottom falls out. And he must also sense he's losing that race against time, that the Obamacare is not going to be repealed before the end of July, maybe not ever. That makes the tax cut plan not work. And so the deal he did with Donald Trump, he is not going to get paid. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has his impunity from Congress.
And Ned, this is not just any member of Congress. This is the Speaker of the House. His members in his party, anyway, look to him for guidance in all things. He was asked publicly for guidance on this. He refused to give the guidance that Lindsey Graham did today.
Well, he was asked for guidance on whether he would commit a crime in the conduct of his campaign. In any other world, that answer would be a very simple no. But we are living in this crazy netherworld of Donald Trump, where Republicans are still clinching to this idea that maybe if they stick with him for long enough, they can get health care and some elements of their agenda. At some point, they will have to grow a spine, and they will have to realize that this is an individual who is not good for their country and who is not good for their party. There are some principled conservatives who have already done that. Joe Scarborough of this network just declared that last night. Others, like Charles Krauthammer, have essentially agreed. But we have not yet seen that from our elected officials, and the question is, what will precipitate them doing that? And maybe, Donald Trump, maybe he was prophetic. Maybe it will take him actually shooting someone on Fifth Avenue before they actually decide to leave his side.